Good evening, guys, and happy, what is today, Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. I don't even know the day anymore, guys, because I've spent the entire week sitting out on the couch, and the days have ran together. I'm not even making coherent words anymore or sentences. Anyways, guys, I am in here to share with you guys that they finished the floors and I'm actually walking on them, which again too is awesome. But if you guys can tell, they also did the trim, but when they got the trim, it wasn't the same like height or whatever as the original. So it was a little bit shorter than what they originally had. So they were able to fix that by they just put new you know, the new like drywall patch, I guess, in or whatever, and like scrape the other stuff off and things like that. So anyways, they did finish that. So we have got the room painted. However, in all honesty, guys, we should have just paid them to paint it. Like we were like, oh, we'll cut costs and like, you know, we'll paint it ourselves and everything like that. But realizing how much stuff has to be touched up after the fact, and like having to go around now that they've done the floors professionally, and we have to like make sure we don't get any paint on here and all that kind of stuff, it's like we should have just had them do it from the beginning. And again too, paid the few $100 extra or whatever it was probably going to cost for just have them do it and not worry about doing it ourselves. Because on top of that too, like I don't even know. Honestly, I think this was all my dad, but do you guys see, like, there is stuff on the trim, and this trim isn't painted, it's only primed, but there is like stuff like here, and there's more stuff up here, and like this entire thing down here. When I painted in here, I don't know what my dad was doing. He was just trying to get it done like really quickly or something like that. When I painted in here, when it was my room, I literally didn't tape any of this stuff off. Everything up here did not get taped off. Granted, I painted this white and the trim was white, so like none of this was like separated, but like the walls were a different color, and then there was the trim, and the walls down here were like blue, you know, right? So, and I had no like marks, no imperfections, literally nothing. Like the walls looked, you know, the trim and everything like that, it was like perfect. Then for the bottom stuff, Matthew taped it off. There was one spot that I think was over by the door where he didn't tape it off perfectly, and so there was still a little bit of the like pre-existing, like that we didn't cover, that was from the old paint. But it wasn't like I got paint on the trim, or I got like trim, like the trim paint on the wall or anything like that. I don't know, like I wasn't really involved in all of this stuff in here. I don't know what happened, honestly. But like I said, when I did it, like over here, guys, like what happened up here? Like this is a lot of paint to just accidentally like get on the trim. Or over here, this, like my dad was like, oh well, because the thing was here, I had to go around it and then I drifted up, and I was like, how did that happen? Like, and I know that we did buy a new, like it's one of those edging thingies or whatever, but again, when I did it and I used it, I had no problems. So I don't know what happened, if they were just not using it the right way, because there's directions on there that tell you how to do it. And then on top of that too, there is also the like that you use it the right way too, and all that kind of stuff, which I'm assuming that they did. But they also bought a new one, and I'm wondering if like maybe the old one was better, like the pads were better, or you know, whatever it is. But it's like a little square thing that you can do the corners with. It's like a little roller thing. It has little like rollers, like wheels on the end, so you just slide it along the trim. And like I said, when I did it, I didn't tape any of this stuff off, and I didn't have any problems. Like the same thing over here too. Like I don't know what happened with like this stuff right here, or this stuff right here. I'm trying to figure out where I'm pointing. Like that, you had to have like gone up and off of the thing in order to, like that just feels like it was more like rushed process than with the actual like the little roller thing or whatever. So anyways, that is, we still have to, we knew we were painting the trim in here, which we are, but I didn't think we would have like mistakes that now we're having to fix after the fact and that kind of stuff. Plus there's some stuff on the ceiling that even has to be fixed as well. which I'm assuming there wasn't a problem in my room with that because we didn't paint the ceiling. They painted the ceiling because they did the drywall patch. But we probably should have just had them painted and not done it ourselves. But either way, this room is completely finished, and like I said, I'm walking in here and everything like that. And I could have moved my bed in here and then slept in here instead of in the living room. However, there's no blinds in here, and I genuinely can't sleep without blinds. Like, first off, it's gonna wake me up. As soon as the sun comes up, I will be wide awake and won't be able to sleep anymore. Thankfully, there's blinds in the living room, so like I've been able to sleep in there, but the Christmas tree light has been what's been keeping me up. So that is like, I have to sleep the opposite side of it, and it's still really bright in the room, but it's not too bad. But like, again too, with these big windows and not having like blinds in here, I would probably not be able to like, and probably not even sleep either too, because like there's no like, there's like light outside, like the neighbors have got their deck light on right now. Like I probably wouldn't be able to sleep from that too, because like the lights are coming in and stuff like that. Also too, the smell is still a little bit lingering in here. It's lingering throughout the entire house, and also too because my floor is still wet. Like it still's got, it might be kind of dry, but it smells like so bad in there. Like the smell is so strong. So again, this room smells a little bit better, but I was like, I don't really also want to sleep in here with like my mattress on the floor, because all my blankets hang off the mattress, and I really don't want like the smell to like seep in. Not that it would, you know, I'm not super concerned about that, but like I just don't want it like on like the freshly done like floors. Like I said, it's safe to walk in here and everything like that. It's just like, I kind of just didn't want my stuff, like if my whole bed frame was in here, I'd be like, sure, whatever, but like it's not. So the idea was that tonight I would be back in here for like a night or two, but since they also taped everything off, we're painting in here tomorrow instead of having to wait to then move me back out into the living room and then move me back in here. And then, yeah, so I'm gonna stay in there for probably, hopefully just one more night, and then probably move me into my current bedroom, because the blinds, like the track is still on there, so we just have to pop them back in, and then I could sleep in there, and then we'll be good but like we gotta air it out. Like I think we should like close the door and then open up the windows. That brings me up to another point too. We got the floors done. So again, they're all done. The floors, the sanding, the drywalling, the painting stuff that they did and everything like that. You know, again, that's all good. That's all done. However, today, because it's been so cold out, and because they had the windows open too, again, to air it out, because it is very smelly when you like get your floors stained and sealed and all that kind of stuff. It does smell, so they had the windows open, and also too, I think to like dry some of the, I don't know if it was like to dry the drywall stuff or whatever, but they did have the windows open. However, it was freezing cold, and the furnace was like running like a lot, and I didn't even really notice that it was running much more than it normally does. But because it's been running so frequently, especially lately, and because it's been so cold, and because again too, like they were also going outside a lot to like cut stuff and then come back, and then, you know, so because of that, the furnace has been running a lot more, and the furnace went out again. So if you guys, our furnace is fairly new. It's like maybe, I think under 5 years or so old, 5 years old or so. But like I said, guys, coherent sentences are not my strong suit right now. Anyways, so again, it's a fairly new furnace, and last year we had this problem as well around like one of the really cold kind of times during winter. But basically, Matthew's friend who works in like HVAC, I think, yeah, HVAC, whatever it is, heating and cooling, he does that, and he was able to walk my dad through it last year of like how to take this thing out, because it was a sensor, like it gets like dirty or whatever, and you have to go through into the actual furnace and like clean it off. And so we ended up, my dad, he, like as I walked him through that process last year, and he ended up doing it. Well, it happened again this year, and and hopefully it doesn't happen much more this year, but it did, and he ended up actually coming today after work to do it, because my dad was like, would there be any way that you could do it? He's like, you don't understand. Like, we had all this project stuff going on today. Like, it was already, I think it was right when they were leaving that my dad noticed it too. So like, again, we were dealing with all that stuff. They left like probably around, I don't know, maybe 5 o'clock or something like that. That's like, normally my dad's almost like getting ready for bed kind of at that time. Like, he's starting to slow his day down because he goes to bed at like normally 8 o'clock. So he's like, you know, I'm gonna have to do that, plus again to get all the other stuff ready, and like we were gonna, you know, again try and move me in here. So instead my dad was like taping this stuff off, but and that's when again too, like we were like, okay, no, the furnace thing is like actually a problem now, because we noticed it wasn't really getting colder in the house, thankfully, because like my dad had noticed it right when it happened. But he ended up calling Matthew's friend, who like I said works for that, and he was like, you know, would there be any way that you could just come over, like, and possibly end up, you know, like looking at the furnace and cleaning that thing? Because the bigger problem, like my dad could do it again if again Matthew's friend had walked him through it, like he just FaceTimed with him the one time. But the bigger problem is that it's real pain to like get the furnace cover thingy off and all that, and like the things that you have to get through to get to it is really difficult. So again, thankfully Matthew's friend does that for a living, and it took him like 5 minutes, and it took my dad like a half an hour the last time, because like he couldn't get the right screws. Like I think he didn't have the right drill, or like not drill but like screwdriver or something like that too the last time. Like it uses a specific kind, or he didn't have like an elongated one that he needed or something like that. And I just remember like when I remember helping him with it, like he just kept dropping the screw on the floor because it wouldn't, like he couldn't get it far enough and like it to stay in and stuff like that or whatever. So I just remember too, it was a huge pain, and he was like, is there any way that you'd be able to come over and like fix it for us? And so he did, and he came over after work, which was until like 8 o'clock. So he ended up coming, got the furnace fixed. So thankfully the furnace was working, but it's like one thing happens and then another thing happens, right? So like it's like the floors are done but the furnace is out. And the thing is though, is that he was actually telling us was that the size furnace that we have is actually not necessarily too small for our house, but it's probably on the smaller end of like the square footage that it should cover. Because he was asking my dad, he was like, how often does it run? And my dad's like right now it's probably, since I've been talking to you guys, kicked on like several times. And I mean, it is really cold outside though. It was like 17 degrees, I think, when I woke up this morning. So I don't even know what it got down to overnight, you know? So anyways, he was like, yeah, the furnace is probably too small actually for the size house that you have, and what they put in. So we might actually need a new furnace. Otherwise we're gonna constantly be having this problem in the really cold winter when it's like this, without having to run like additional space heaters and stuff like that, which we shouldn't have to, because we have a furnace that should be doing the job for us. So he was talking about possibly after this winter getting us a new furnace and being able to help us install it. And I was like, that would be so awesome, because he said that it can help with both the heat and the cooling. Like it will help, like the blower, I guess, will be stronger, so it'll actually push the air further through the rest of the house. Because one of the things is that like in my bedroom, in the back bedrooms that are further away from the furnace, it's really like it's not good. This room is normally really good. I always told you guys how warm it was always in my room compared to the other rooms, which are the two further away rooms. It's always really cold in there. Even when this room's like boiling hot, the other rooms are cold, and that's because it's not pushing the air far enough, is what I've kind of, now that he said that, I'm like, it makes sense. So yeah, that's why. That's the update for today. It was a lot. It's a lot going on, and I've like gotten like 4 hours of sleep, I think, or maybe I got 5 hours of sleep last night. But like I've been getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning almost every day this week, because goodness guys, they've been here so early, and like I need to get things ready and get the dogs fed and taken care of before they get here and like all that kind of stuff. So it's just been a lot. It's been a lot this week, and we're not nearly, you know, again too, as you guys can tell, there's a lot of painting still to do and all kinds of stuff. So we have a lot that still has to get done. But I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see y'all versus in Jenny Pieces tomorrow. So bye guys.